So I've been playing Fallout 4 recently, and I love this game. I love the gunplay, I love exploring, I love the crafting. There's a lot of this game that they actually get right, really right. But there are some things that I find questionable, things I just want to talk about. One thing I found really weird about this game is that when you holster your weapon in third-person mode, it will just disappear into thin air, like you're some kind of magician. In previous Bethesda games, when you holstered your weapons, they would appear on your character model and you could just traverse the land in third-person mode. I like doing that because it just feels more cinematic and kind of breaks up the monotony of exploring some kind of empty environment. And as usual, what kind of Bethesda game is it without a couple weird bugs here and there? Now here's a strange one, and this one's pretty weird as well. This one just kind of scared me. Now, this isn't any kind of bug or anything like that. This is just an observation I made while I was playing the game. How do these murderous, crazy raiders know how to make detailed logs onto computers? And on top of that, how do they know how to spell perfectly and use perfect punctuation? Where are they learning how to do this? Now, here are some encounters that I've had with the ineffectual AI sometimes. This guy seems to be completely unaware that I'm behind him, even though I'm standing up. I'm not in sneak mode. And what happens right here is definitely a weird one. This Deathclaw seems to be running into the corner while I'm shooting in the behind. It doesn't really show any interest in fighting me. It's just kind of running there. So this brings me to my main talking point of the video, is a problem that I encountered during the beginning of the game. I haven't encountered it since then, but periodically I'll meet enemies that can just consecutively throw grenades at you, just non-stop. In this particular scenario, a super mutant throws 5 Molotov cocktails at me. This super mutant will keep throwing them regardless of if I'm in cover or not, and it begins to really wear down my health and the amount of stim packs I have. I began to get really curious at how many grenades the enemies could actually carry, so I wanted to do an experiment to see if I can engage in a scenario where they would throw grenades endlessly at me. What happened right here is that they throw 2 grenades at me at the same time. Obviously, there's no way I'm going to be dodging this one. But so I managed to get into the perfect place where I could test out to see how many grenades the enemies could throw at me. I ended up counting up to at least 10 to 12 grenades thrown at me in the scene. I might have cut out some footage of this fight. You can easily attribute the amount of grenades thrown at me as to some kind of random number cruncher or just a generic response from the AI, but I really feel like enemies should have a set amount of grenades they can throw at you at one time, and how many grenades would be on each character at a time. Like each enemy should have maybe 1 grenade that they can throw at you. But from the findings in this video, they throw about 10 to 13 between the two of them, and I really think it's only the one raider that throws them in this fight. In a game like Uncharted or Halo, enemies were vicious with grenades, but there was always like a set amount of time between they would throw one and give you enough time to react, and those games had regenerating health. So it didn't really matter how many they threw at you, you always had enough buffer time to heal yourself. Fallout 4, on the other hand, doesn't have anything in place to counteract these grenades. You'll have stim packs, but there's a finite supply of them in your inventory at any given time. So at any point in any combat encounter, you can run out of stim packs, but the enemies will never run out of their grenades. They'll just keep on throwing them, which makes winning that fight very unlikely. The odds of winning are even more unlikely if they start throwing them at the volume as they did in the rooftop fight with the super mutants I showed earlier in the video. Another thing that should be noted is the very good accuracy they have with those grenades. They never overthrow them, they never underthrow them. If you were at the maximum distance they could throw grenades, I would imagine every grenade would be completely on target on every throw. None of the grenades would ever miss. On the other hand, though, it's really easy to be inaccurate with your own grenades because of the way the grenades are set up. You hold R to throw them out, and It just feels really clunky. However, I still consider this a fantastic game. Nothing I mentioned before really hurts the experience for me. There are things that I really don't like that actually do contribute to my experience with the game, but I decided not to go into it. I just wanted to make a nice, quick little video of just some of the things I found weird, or just some other glitches, or just something interesting to talk about.